Mr. Sablan, you are recognized to offer your amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R.
Without objection,
3490.
further reading of the amendment will be dispensed with. Mr. Sablan, you are recognized for 5 minutes in support of your amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 3495 adds to the definition of state to include jurisdictions such as the Northern Mariana Islands, American Samoa, Guam, the United States Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, eligible for the grant program established in the bill, and ensures the VA will conduct outreach in our communities. Supporting community organizations that assist veterans with mental health issues is especially important in areas like the Northern Marianas, my district, where VA mental health services are severely limited and primarily provided via telehealth and monthly one-day visits by Guam Vet Center staff. That is why it must be clear that organizations in every part of the United States are eligible for the grant program created in this bill. That being said, direct in-person VA mental health care is what the Marianas veterans need and consistently ask for. Guam Vet Center staff try to fill this need through once a month, one-day visits to Saipan. As word spreads, the demand for vet center services increases. Once a month, one-day visits are simply just not enough. Marianas veterans deserve their own vet center, and I will continue to push to make it a reality. I also want to add that this is not the first time I have offered an amendment that clarifies that veterans residing in the insular areas are eligible for a program or ensures they are not left out. It troubles me each time because there should never be a question of eligibility or availability of any VA program or service to veterans in these areas in the first place. This is not the case today. When I or some of the other insular area delegates learn of a new benefit, the first questions are often, are veterans in our area eligible? Would that program be available in our area? Or are we included? I often expect a negative response. And then even when the answer is yes, it is more often a yes, but yes, they're eligible, but the VA does not have the required staff or facility in your area, so the program is not available to them. Yes, your veterans are eligible for the services, but they would have to fly to another destination to get it, and they may have to pay out of pocket for some expenses and wait to be reimbursed. Yes, the program will be available in your district, but it will take longer to implement in your district than in the rest of the country. Veterans living in the insular areas deserve better. There are no less veterans in my district than veterans in the state of California. And I look forward to the day when there is no doubt that veterans in the insular areas are eligible for and have access to all VA programs and services. And I look forward to the day when there is no doubt that all veterans include veterans in the insular areas. I look forward to the day, Mr. Chairman, when I don't have to go beg for a waiver to get on this committee so that I could argue and seek support for veterans who serve alongside veterans in the 50 states and the District of Columbia, and come back only to find that the services that they so much deserve, medical services, are available to them. I ask all members to please help support this amendment. Please help support veterans in the insular areas in the Northern Marianas. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Sablan. I'd like to thank my good friend, Mr. Sablan, for offering this amendment, and I'm pleased to offer my support for this amendment to the ANS, to H.R. 3495. Having recently traveled with Mr. Sablan Chairwoman Julie Brownlee of our Health Subcommittee and Ms. Radewagen and other members and other members representing those territories. We traveled to 4 territories this year, and I gained a deeper understanding of the barriers that veterans face when it comes to accessing their benefits in remote territories. And at the outset of this Congress, I vowed that we would ensure that veterans living in the territories are not forgotten or left behind. And we certainly are very proud of the service that residents of the territories have offered to the United States of America. This amendment offers a clarifying improvement to the legislation that will ensure the Secretary expands VA's outreach regarding grant opportunities to the territories and utilizes the broadest definition of state to include territories. I urge all of you to support it. Is there any further debate on the Sablan amendment? If not, the question is on the Sablan amendment to the amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R. 3495. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the Sablan amendment is agreed to. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.